So after that snooze fest of a mystery two-parter, we finally get to the next episode where some pink-haired blacksmith is refining Asuna's sword. Oh, maybe they dye their hair to make it look exotic. Later, Kirito comes to Pinkhair's shop to order a new sword. She gives him her best one to try out, which he then breaks. Wow, Kirito, the dick that everyone deserves, but not the one they need right now. After she berates him for a bit, they agree to go on an adventure to get the material to make an even better sword for him to buy. Hold on a sec, Elizabeth. Don't you also want compensation for him breaking your masterpiece? Getting the material and then making an even better sword doesn't make up for the fact that your first sword was destroyed, i.e. potential profit was lost and nothing is being done to make up for it. Aren't you trying to run a business here?
Just keep quiet and stay out of the way.
What? Keep quiet and...
By the way, my name's Kirito. Looks like we're a party until we make that sword.
Yeah, whatever, Kirito.
Well, if you're gonna be like that, I can roll with it.
Oh my god, I was still kind of joking about him being an asshole, but this just validates everything I've said about him thus far. So they then go off to find this rare metal. Kirito gives a coat to girl sidekick number 204. Hey, with the amount of time skips that happen in this show, I might not even be wrong about that. And she wonders what she's doing out here. Alone. With some weirdo asshole that she just met, who might also be a psychotic serial murderer.
'Cause I like having you as a friend.
They get to the area where the dragon is when this happens.
Once the dragon appears, you're gonna hide under one of those crystals over there. Don't come out no matter what.
Oh, come on! I'm not a noob. If I want to help you, I'll darn well...
Do what I say!
Okay, so why did Kirito only now decide to go over the plan with Liz? Last time he went on a quest like this, he told his sidekick what to do well before they got near any kind of danger. Here, he waited until the boss was right on top of them. He takes the necessary precautions when dealing with a quest that isn't going to be too stressful and when his sidekick more than likely won't die. But he doesn't when dealing with a quest that will be quite difficult and where his sidekick could more than likely die. Speaking of last time he went on a quest like this, when Kirito tells Silica to use the crystal when shit gets raw, he does it in a stern yet calm tone. But when he tells Pinkhair the same thing, he flies off the handle. Anyway, the dragon attacks, Kirito begins to kick its ass when Pinkhair fucks the plan totally up by running out into the open and getting knocked into a giant pit. You had one job! Kirito jumps after her and they both get trapped in the pit. They then work on how to get out. Why was a manhole made in the snow when he fell a fraction of the height, when he and Liz fell the whole length and nothing happened? Later that night, Kirito explains why he jumped after her, and they hold hands. I'm starting to notice a trend here. Whenever some girl has a personal moment with our hero, they always feel the need to be closer to him. With Suicidal Girl, she slept in the same bed with Kirito. The little baby held his arm when they were talking, and now this girl wants to hold his hand. My question to all those cases is, why? All these characters knew Kirito for only a day or two. In other words, they barely knew him at all. Yet all three felt the need, at one point or another, to physically be close to him. Were all three girls that emotionally fragile to feel the need to do that with a guy they barely know? All the major female characters introduced in this show, aside from Asuna, and possibly Purple Hair, have been portrayed as being helpless without the help of a man. And not to say that this can't happen to any one man, no matter their background. This very well could happen to even the most wimpy-looking and socially awkward of us, despite the astronomical odds. But the fact that it is happening on a regular occurrence with this guy who also happens to be the main character, it all stops coming across as just coincidence and more as blatant pandering. He's coming off less as a protagonist and more as a gynecologist. But after they have that little moment, the following morning Kirito finds the super secret metal that they've been looking for. Turns out the metal is dragon feces, and that the pit that they're in is the dragon's nest. But then Pinkhair starts putting two and two together.
Wait, this is supposed to be a dragon's nest, right?
Yep.
'Cause dragons are nocturnal.
Since when? In what universe? So they ride the dragon out of the hole, fly in the air, and fall to their deaths. But before they do...
Don't freak out! But I'm falling in love with you!
Why is she falling in love with him? He's been nothing but a douche to her. I guess he gave her his smelly cloak and prevented her from falling to her death. But what else has he done for her? Broke her shit? Made her hold shit? I don't know if that qualifies as a lover, Liz. Unless she's into that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they get back to the shop, she makes the sword out of the poo they found, and Asuna bursts into the shop wondering where her money is.
Long time no see. It's been what, like 2 days?
Okay, that was funny. As Kirito and Asuna banter for a bit, Elizabeth comes to the realization that Kirito doesn't share the same feelings for her. Gee, you think? She fucks off and Kirito goes after her.
How'd you know I was here?
I scanned the whole town for you from up there.
What happened to that tracking spell you used to find Sachi back in episode 3?
Liz, I just wanted to thank you. I always thought dying was better than surviving day after day, living with the guild. But then, we got stuck in that hole, and I was really happy we were still alive. I realized that even here, our lives are real and have meaning. Thank you for helping me see that, Liz. I guess it's what I've been looking for this whole time.
Yeah, me too.
You know, if there was supposed to be a connection in that they both suffered a major loss at one point or another in the game, then I don't see it. Maybe it was implied, but considering that it'd be a major theme for this episode, and they usually don't try to hide shit like that, especially if it'd be that good, I doubt it. Such subtlety is something that appears to be beyond the capabilities of these people. Other than that, this end between these two is actually kinda good. Or at least it would be if there was a real connection between them and not just crap or forced emotions that are thrown in there for the sake of creating drama. Speaking of forced, how about the way the episode closes out? An, apparently, emotionally racked and heartbroken girl does a weird promo for her shop to the audience. Well, actually, she's giving it to Kirito, but does it facing the camera, so it's as if she's doing it for us? And then she gives a weird giggle, as if to say, I'm a mess right now, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine if I just ignore these feelings I have developed out of nowhere. That's how life works. Right, so enough of that crap. Several months later, we find Kirito fighting a lizard man in some weird cave while in the dark. Or no, I guess it was in a fully illuminated cave. What? Why was it dark if there was illumination for the area already? See, the creators of the show keep trying to be artistic in one way or another, but it's always done for the sake of looking artsy and or intelligent, not for any actual beneficial reason to the show's story or themes. Now, you might say, well, Evangelion was no stranger to this style either. Hell, you could say the entire series was nothing but an art house show. And while it may be true that Evangelion had a bit more of an artistic flair to it compared to most of its contemporaries, the show always handled its artsy nature in a way to benefit the show's narrative or to add some depth to the characters. But here it's done simply for looks, even if it doesn't make sense. Especially if it doesn't make sense. God damn it, didn't I just say that we were done with this crap? So after he kills the lizard thing, Kirito tells us that they've been trapped in this game for 2 years now, and then feels the need to tell the audience that he's going home now.
Guess I'll head home.
And? Okay, what else? Really? I had no idea! They were in a video game the whole time? This is another weird thing I'm noticing throughout this show. Almost every opening scene for an episode just before the OP is punctuated with a character saying something that isn't interesting. See, most shows that have some sort of introductory scene before the opening theme is played use this opportunity to hook the audience for the rest of the episode. It's usually meant to intrigue people enough to want to see what happens next. This usually means that the opening scene, or whatever, ends with something something interesting being revealed or with someone saying something equally intriguing. Just ask David Caruso about the importance of a good hook. He'll tell you all about that shit. But in Sword Art Online, it usually ends with someone saying something completely flaccid, like,
We're having a meeting to figure out how to find and defeat the Floor 1 boss.
Actually, I came here to ask the two of you for your help.
Seriously?
Well, she took my advice, but who knew she'd join the top guild and be a floor-clearing badass?
oh boy, can't wait to see what happens next. And by see what happens next, I mean staple my penis to my thigh. Anyway, Kirito kills a mega ultra rabbit thing on the way home. While trying to pawn it off to Aegil, Asuna stops by to say hello.
Oh, save it. I came to see if you were still alive.
Couldn't you have just sent him a message asking that? You didn't have to see in person to confirm that. Oh wait, I guess it was because of love or whatever that told her to go see him for herself. Or something. So it turns out that Asuna is a master chef now, and Kirito asks her to cook up the plot device. She agrees, and they decide to cook it at her place. So after they decide to cook the thing, the bodyguard is asked to leave them. He says no. Then Asuna asks again, and this happens.
Are you implying I'm inferior to him? Oh, I know. He's one of those beaters, isn't he?
Gee, I wonder if he's gonna be a villain later.
I'm second in command here. I am ordering you to go home.
Shouldn't she have said, I'm the ranking officer here, rather than, I'm second in command here? That makes it sound like she's not the highest ranking member of their club in the immediate area. So they get to her apartment.
In real life, there'd be a lot more steps involved in preparing this.
That is the dumbest thing I have heard a character say in anything, ever. In my entire life. I wonder why that is, Asuna. Maybe because it's a video game that's designed to allow people to change their clothes at the press of a button, rather than having players manually taking them off themselves? You're playing Sword Art Online. They didn't put Sword Art in the title because it would have in-depth cooking. It's not like you're playing Real Life Simulator, the video game. Anyway, they eat the thing and shoot the shit for a bit.
I know how you feel. And when you stop to consider it, there's everyone else, right? All the people who still count on us? If we give up, it's not fair to them.
Right. So explain to me the point of going on that mystery a few episodes back. They eventually decide to go on some vague quest together. The following day...
What is this thing?
Oh good, more underage molestation. Like this show wasn't creepy enough. She crashed into Kirito because she was running from her bodyguard, who she outranks. Okay... The bodyguard then goes on about how it's his mission to be a creepazoid and then proceeds to drag Asuna back to their HQ. Asuna, may I remind you that not only do you outrank this guy, but you're also stronger than him. Kick his ass! Oh, wait, that would go against the writer's attempt at making her a helpless damsel in distress so that Kirito can look like a cool guy and be the hero. Even though she's proven to be a strong-willed character who wouldn't take bullshit like this. Fuck it. Fuck everything! So Kirito grabs him and is like, nuh-uh, and they fight. You fucking wish your shit was as good as Berserk. Any iteration of Berserk.
Kuradil, as second in command of the Knights of the Blood Oath, I'm relieving you of your duties as my bodyguard.
Why didn't you just do that before?